Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to do just kind of a quick review for you guys on the Ecotric fat tire electric bike. I hadn't seen too many reviews on this e-bike out there, so I thought I'd kind of give you guys my 2 cents based off my experience and let you know what I thought about it in case you were thinking about picking one up. Should mention too real quick that I actually found a pretty good deal on this e-bike, and I'll put a link in the description below so you can check that deal out if you're thinking of getting one. A small note on that is that it is actually more expensive on their website, so if you use my link below, I found it cheaper than what you can buy it for on their own website. So if you are thinking of getting one, it's not a bad deal. So the Ecotric fat tire electric bike. I'll tell you straight off, if you're looking for a good quality electric bike for the money, there is not a better one out there. I did tons and tons of research for months before deciding on this one, and I am extremely happy with it. In my opinion, this bike should be priced probably around the $1,400 mark. I really didn't expect this bike to be as good a quality as I thought it would be. I thought it would be kind of cheap just because of the price. Having tested other bikes like the Rad Rover, the Rip Current, and the Yukon 750, I didn't think that it was going to be as good a quality as those bikes are. And while it does have a few lacking features that those $1,500 to $1,800 bikes have, which I'll go into in a second, the overall quality and the power that this bike has is equal to those almost in every way. And you're talking literally half the price. That's why this is such a good smoking deal on this bike. So let's go over a little bit about why this is such a good buy. The most important thing on an e-bike and the most expensive things is your motor and your battery. So let's start with the motor. This comes with a 500 watt motor. It's made by Bafang. If you're not familiar with that company, it is a Chinese company, but don't let that fool you. They make exceptionally good motors. Arguably one of the best electric bike motor manufacturers in the world. So you're getting a very, very good high quality motor with it. 500 watts. Now, if you actually do some digging into the motors of these other bikes that it kind of competes with, I say it competes with, although it's half the price of the bike it competes with, so it shouldn't compete with these bikes, but it does. The Rad Rover is listed as a 750 watt motor. It actually has a 500 watt motor that they overvolt into 700. It can handle 750 watts, but it's technically a 500 watt motor. Same with the Yukon 750. The juiced bike Rip Current actually does have a 750 watt motor, but you're talking about $1,900 for that bike. Second thing is the battery. This comes with a 36 volt 12 amp hour battery. Now the battery, if there is one, I guess you could say, drawback to this bike, is it could possibly be the battery. Now let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, when it comes to power, this thing is plenty powerful. This 36 volt battery, I'm about 235 pounds. This will pin to 20 miles an hour and actually will do 25 miles an hour on a flat surface without pedaling at all. I say 25 because it's legally limited to 20 miles per hour when you get it, but you can go into the menu settings, you hold the up and down button for like 3 seconds, you can go in and change the maximum top speed up to 25 miles an hour. And it will absolutely pin a 230 pound person at 25 miles an hour on a flat road. Going uphill, very, very steep uphill, you're probably going to get down to around 10 miles an hour, which is still exceptionally fast for going up a pretty strong, I'm talking like a 10% grade. So power-wise, not a problem at all. The motor and the battery work perfect in harmony. This thing is insanely powerful. Most people don't even realize how fast 20 miles an hour, or especially 25 miles an hour, is on a bike. It is exceptionally fast. I don't even feel fully comfortable going that fast in bike lanes or on sidewalks. Usually I keep it around 15, and it still feels like you're flying. But if you're on an open road, dirt road, something like that, 25 can be fun, but you are flying faster than you can even imagine. Now, one thing with the battery on this is it is not a real per se name brand battery. Like a lot of the other bikes have Panasonic or Samsung batteries, this is a Chinese battery. Now, that could be technically an issue in the future. It's not the highest quality battery in the world. However, I will say, though, that batteries are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Even I remember a year ago, the replacement battery on this bike was like, you could go on eBay and get one for about $350. Now the replacement batteries for this bike, if you go on eBay, they're around $180. And that's for a good Panasonic battery if you ever want to get one, if this one were to ever conk out on you. So the way I figured it was kind of, it's so much cheaper. You're talking $800 or $900 less than to get an e-bike with like a high quality battery. You could, if this battery ever happens to fail you in the future, you can get a replacement battery and you're still way under what you would have paid for a more expensive bike. The other thing to note about this bike is it doesn't have any front suspension. It doesn't have any suspension, period. There's no rear suspension, but all these big fat tire e-bikes don't have rear suspensions unless you spend $4,000 or $5,000 on one and get an actual like e-mountain bike. The front forks don't have a front suspension on this bike, which is perfectly okay. If you look at a lot of fat tire mountain bikes, they don't have front suspensions, and that's because the tires are your suspension. These are 26-inch, which are really actually more like 29, 30-inch tires by the time you count the actual rubber on them. 4 inches wide. These things absorb shocks like you would not believe. And in fact, a lot of my friends who have Rad Rovers end up locking their front fork anyway on 90% of the roads that they travel on, just because it gives you more power. The front fork is not just absorbing all your power, kind of. So it's nice to have a lock suspension with a fat tire bike, period. So I don't even really count that as a drawback. Another thing that's nice about this is you're getting a Shimano 7-speed gear set, which it's not the highest quality of the Shimano line. It's their kind of entry-level line, but it's still Shimano. It's still good. You're getting full disc brakes on the front and the rear. Now, they are mechanical. They're not hydraulic. But the stopping power of even mechanical disc brakes is exceptionally well. Very, very good. And this thing will stop very, very quickly. The LCD display in the readout is very good. It uses the ever popular S900 LCD display, which a lot of the Rad Rovers and stuff use. Good and accurate battery indicator. Very good and accurate speedometer, odometer, pedal assist level. Everything you need, nothing really you don't on there. Oh, and it is backlit too, just to mention. I know a few guys were wondering about that, but yeah, it is actually backlit. Battery is fully removable, which I highly recommend taking your battery off every time you use it. Don't leave it inside your garage and charge it, especially if you're in a very hot or cold climate. It's not good for lithium-ion batteries. Pop it off real quick, take it inside and charge it. As far as the distance goes, it's a 12 amp hour battery. If you're a heavier person, you're looking at probably about 20 miles if you're using just pure throttle alone, if you're not pedaling at all. I'm, like I said, 230 pounds, and I get about 20 miles using full throttle, no charge. If you're pedaling, you can extend that probably up to 30 to 40, depending on if you're using like what level of pedal assist. If you're on just like 1 or 2 pedal assists, you could probably go up to 40 miles. If you're on the heavier, like 9 level pedal assist, you're probably looking around 30 miles, something like that. But all in all, this thing is an absolute beast. It's built like an absolute tank. It's definitely the most heavy-duty bike that I've ever used. So don't get the impression that just because it's cheaper means it's cheap. It's not. It's built very, very well. Extremely fast, extremely powerful. This can off-road like you wouldn't believe. It'll do light mountain biking trails, but it'll handle rocks, sand, anything you can throw at it. I absolutely love it, and I highly recommend it, and I really am still blown away whenever I use it that this thing costs as little as it does. There's no reason, in my opinion, to spend $1,500 to $2,000 on an e-bike when you can get one this good, this cheap. Anyway, if you guys have any more questions about it, sorry this review kind of went on for a long time, but I just thought I'd kind of go into a little more detail than I usually do. Anyway, if you guys have any more questions about the bike, please leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.